As the great independent director Mr. Werner Herzog once said, I despise formal restaurants. I find all of that formality to be very base and vile. I would much rather eat potato chips on the sidewalk.
Hello and welcome to Potato Chips on the Sidewalk. I'm Barbecue Benjamin. Joining me today is...
It is, recovered Jacob.
Okay, what are you, fucking Solid Snake?
Yes.
Recovered Jacob, like recovered snake, like what's next?
Punished Jacob.
Oh, that's you every night in your bedroom.
What does that mean?
You're punishing yourself. Okay, today we're going to be talking about episodes 3 and 4 of season 4 of Barry on HBO. I don't know why I made it that long-winded like that, but I just want to start this out with the first episode we did on this season. I wasn't all that into it, and I kind of lost faith in me enjoying it a little bit. I was like, I don't know about this, and I would like to issue a public apology to Bill Hader, Alec Berg, and all who are involved in Barry, because episodes 3 and 4 were incredible, and I can't believe we're already halfway through the season because I want this to go on forever. Jacob, what did you think of episodes 3 and 4 of Barry season 4?
Yeah, I was really impressed by them. I was impressed by, I guess how they're both really tight, but also cover so much.
Yeah, especially the 4th episode.
The fact you can do that in half an hour TV is really quite impressive.
Yeah.
Honestly, kind of insane.
Yeah. Well, it's just, everyone's talked about Barry as like this directing film school for Bill Hader. But I think the film school ended after season 1. It's like no other guy or person in general is just using TV in this way. We're talking about TV is a writer's medium, and for the most part it is, but directorially, Barry is doing something that I can't think of another TV show that does at all. Maybe Twin Peaks: The Return, but that's like a entirely different can of worms that I don't want to open up on this broadcast. But there's something that Bill Hader's been able to do. It still feels like a TV show, but the filmmaking is just that little bit different than anything else. I can't really put a finger on one particular thing, but there's such there's these visual motifs that keep cropping up, especially the field with this wide angle lens that he's been doing for the first few episodes, and then that all comes to a head at the end of the 4th episode. Just he's building these layers and layers and layers of just, I don't want to say recognizable stuff as if it's like a fucking Howard the Duck in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. I don't want it to be it's not like Easter eggs like that, but it's kind of it's the way that a leitmotif in a score for a film, but I'm just gobsmacked. It's so good. Anyway, let's do you want to talk about the episodes in order? So episode 3.
Yep, sure.
How does episode 3 start again? my brain destroyed itself in the last 10 days since I've seen it. Actually, how does it start? Can you help me out?
Yeah, well, I'm not sure exactly where it starts, but I know that Sally starts her new Kuzuno drama school.
Yes. Like, is the... Oh, so... Okay, yeah.
No, that the episode starts with the whole Guillermo del Toro podcast thing.
Yes. Episode 3, entitled You're Charming. Sorry, I just had to look it up. Yeah, I totally forgot that, like, Guillermo del Toro makes a fun little appearance in the show as Toro, so I hope he's playing himself. I hope in his head that he's playing a version of himself, because I think that would be quite fun for him to do. But so the end of episode 2, Hank says that we need to kill Barry, which that is where I had a little bit apprehension, because I didn't think it was really enough for Hank to want to kill Barry over. But with his actions and the way he's been scared by the guy, what's his name, JD Blanc, the Chechen enforcer. He voices Caustic in Apex Legends, and he's in Better Call Saul as well. He comes and basically just scares the shit out of Hank, saying with their crime utopia, and the journey that Hank takes in these 2 episodes is it's amazing. The way he goes from being so enthusiastic, doing this like sand tech startup with his little headpiece, doing his tiny little Apple press conference to these like two gangs of criminals trying to convince them to go into the sand business, to the JD, what's his character's name? JD Blank's Batia coming in, like, just scaring the shit out of him, and just Hank, I think, really becoming the character that he was being built up to be over the last like 4 seasons. Like, I always think back to when I think it might be season 3 when Barry asks him, like, are we good people? And then enthusiastically Hank just says, no, we're terrible. And I think this is him fully embracing it. What do you think about what Hank goes through?
Well, I mean, it's a very... that's the thing, because like for a while, like it seemed like it was almost too good to be true for NoHo Hank, but he kind of has to have that extra. He always had that extra ambition and that extra thing, and it's really sad actually. Like, it's really sad that he kind of has to have that. You know, he kind of, I don't know. Yeah, it's sad that you kind of see that unrest in him when like things are probably as good as they probably could have gotten for him.
Yeah. So you think it's like a little bit more than just his fear of the Chechens coming along? Like he's just like he's got that dog in him, you know? Like he's...
Well, it's just like, I think it's fear, but I think it's also just like, it is what he knows.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. And you talked about Sally's acting class, where you know, she's she does what Kusuno does to her in, it might be the first or second season, I can't remember which one, where he just like completely like abuses her emotionally to get a good performance out of her, and she does it to this new student that she has, and I'm gonna say like the more well-adjusted class that's that Sally has compared to Kusano's class, like immediately reject it, and they're like,
"That's abusive."
Yeah, like they straight up just say it's abusive, and Sally just really just kind of, I think in that moment, like, have we seen her interact with Kusano since he like gives her the class?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, I think in that moment, like, she kind of like loses respect for Kusano at all.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. There's this whole like a thing about the show is this whole like romanticized intensity of the actor, but like then when people like sort of say in practice, it's like, yeah, it's actually pretty abusive to like,
yeah, it is, and
be like that.
Really makes this character just like break down in front of the class, and because she says these lines from Sunset Boulevard, you know, like better than she was before, like in terms of performance, like it doesn't mean like she's like, you know, it's just kind of, yeah, it's not worth it. It's just like, it's just kind of like, what do you, is this as an art form really like worth making someone feel as terrible as she does all the time? Because Sally's like,
exactly.
I think as a character, you know, Sally's obviously drawing from a lot of real pain, and she's always she's been kind of like a victim of everyone around her like not taking her pain seriously. Like in the first 2 episodes, with her dad is just kind of like, "Oh, you okay, little girl? You know, like, I'm your daddy, you're my little daughter." Like, it's not really taking her pain seriously. And then her mum is just completely just like over it, being like, "Oh yeah, you got some shit going on. Like, I don't give a fuck." Like, you know, it's just two ends of the spectrum of just not really understanding like what Sally's going through.
Yeah,
and
I think both you and I were saying in season 3, like, we weren't really sure about the whole, like, I think I liked the scenes of her in the industry in season 3 more than you did, but like I was struggling to see, I'm like, okay, where does this really fit into the show? And I think now retrospectively, this whole thing of, you know, her pain being raised up and then dragged down, and then she's like at rock bottom because of one part, her own, you know, obviously her whole like rage against her agent, and then but then also perhaps unfairly because also partially because of how Barry, her association with Barry, which she didn't know about his past until I guess this season /
until she landed in the plane.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, like, when she like gets attacked by the guy in their apartment,
yeah, but like,
did she know about it then?
I'm not sure if she knows concretely. She probably,
because she was running away from that murder. I know.
Yeah, I know that, but I'm just saying, I'm not sure if she knew about the whole assassin angle. I think she might have known something was up, but I don't think she concretely knew.
Yeah, like he was really casual about it, and like, you know, like he was very competent in that moment. So I think she was definitely at least freaked out by that aspect of it.
Yeah.
And then I think the other storyline we got going on in this episode is obviously the titular Barry. He has taken over Fuchs's role as informant, and is giving up NoHo Hank and all other criminal operations he was like involved with in exchange for being able to go into witness protection and potentially take Sally with him. Is it this episode or episode 2 where Sally tells him that she feels safe with him? Was it even the first episode?
I think it might have been the second. But...
Either one. Like, that's what he was latching onto, where he is just like, if Sally trusts me, that's the only thing he has left his entire life, and he's going to do everything to get it back. And so I think Hank tells Fuchs that Harry's going to get like assassinated in prison. Fuchs starts freaking out, yelling out that Barry's going to get murdered.
After realizing that watching a scene from Rain Man and deciding Dustin Hoffman and Tom Cruise are him and Barry.
Also, I want to bring up, just mentioning the stuff that's on TV in the prison. Bill Hader, does he love or hate Yellowstone? Or does he does he just think it's funny, like, about how popular Yellowstone is and how possibly kind of underground Barry is compared?
Yeah.
Anyway, I keep laughing every time I see Yellowstone being played in the prison. Like, I don't know why, I just find it hilarious. But then, I think the most Barry scene of the season so far happens when, Barry's in the witness protection room telling everything he knows to these agents, and then in the background, Fred Armisen is making the funniest face anyone's ever made.
I was gonna say, I think that has to be one of the funniest shots I've ever seen. Just him, just like sweating so much.
And Barry puts him out.
Obviously, the connection between Fred Armisen and Bill Hader has been quite long and very well documented. So it's like, it's lovely to see Fred Armisen be brought onto the show with, like, I think only 1 or 2 lines. Which are like mostly just like babbling. But like,
it's like at any point, like the first 3 seasons, Bill Hader could have just had Fred Armisen just play like a supporting character.
Exactly.
But at any point, and he saved him for this.
Yeah, I'm so glad he saved him for this, because like, fucking hell, like that is just. Look, I know it's like a long shot, but like that should be like the guest star winner. Like,
yeah, that actually should be. Yeah.
Like, it's so fucking funny that like that's the thing. It's just like the fact that it's like hell is like the whole episode leads up to this whole thing of like, okay, Barry's gonna get assassinated.
I was actually convinced he might die.
And then it's just like, and you're kind of like wondering who it is, and then it's just like the guy with the worst poker face of all time. And it's just like sweating profusely.
Yeah.
And like looking, oh man. No, that was God, that was amazing. That was
amazing scene. And
amazing that was like that's like the catalyst of the turning point of this season as well.
Yeah. And it's got it switches. Barry grabs a gun, kills the guy's brother in the ceiling, and escapes from prison. And the episode ends. So at that point, I was already like, yeah, okay, I was wrong about the first 2 episodes.
Yeah,
I know that like they were definitely going to come and like Barry, Bill Hader definitely had something up his sleeve. I just didn't know where to place that after episodes 1 and 2. Anyway, moving forward to episode 4. Episode 4, it takes a psycho, I guess, to know a psycho.
Yeah.
Anyway, again, I want to talk about these directorial flourishes in the show. Throughout the episode, the supporting characters hear a helicopter above them. The one that is searching for Barry, and throughout the entire episode, you don't know where Barry is while we're following the rest of the characters, and I think it's just such a great way to make like it just in the back of your mind being like, is Barry hiding around here? Like what's he doing right now? Like
he could be around any corner.
Exactly, yeah. And I think it starts out, we go to do we start out with Fuchs being beat with the it starts out at the prison with the helicopter, and Fuchs is getting just completely just like beat by the prison guards, just casually, by the way. Like, he just walks out into the dinner room as if that's just completely fine, and like nobody's lawyer's gonna get involved or anything. Like, it's just America seems like it seems realistic, honestly, and America just seems like a fucking hellscape. But I think there's like a cutaway with the prisoner saying that he's not going to give up Barry. So I think at this point, the Black Raven has finally become the Black Raven in the prison because of this beating, and not giving up Barry. So the respect that he's gained inside this prison, I think, is going to really play into the second half of the season.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, because he's going to have an army, I think. Anyway, and then moving on, we got is it Hank next or is it Sally next? I don't.
It doesn't matter the order.
Yeah.
I mean, it does to the show, but like not
actually.
to this point of discussion.
I think we should talk about Sally last, actually. And then moving on to, as I was talking about earlier, Hank becoming the person that he always thought himself was going to be. Anthony Carrigan, if he loses Best Supporting Actor in a Comedy Series to fucking
Kent.
Yeah, like some motherfucker from Ted Lasso or whatever.
I love how Ted Lasso, like the first two seasons, I actually like the first two seasons. I think the second one was a bit worse, but like it's so funny how that show has just lost all of its respect from like the audience.
From my understanding, I think they like reshot 3/4 of season 3. So I wonder what went wrong and then made it just as bad when people. I've been watching it just out of like, I've come this far and I'm paying for my Apple TV Plus, so like whatever, it's gonna end. I might as well just finish it off. The sunk cost fallacy. But it just hasn't been great. And why do I need a 69-minute episode of Ted Lasso, and I'm only getting 32-minute episodes of Barry? I think it's insulting, honestly. Anyway, so the sand business is finally, rising up. That everybody's excited about it, and they decide for some reason to all go stand out in the middle of the silo of sand. So as soon as they, walked out into the middle of the sand, I was like, okay, who doesn't know what's going to happen here? But he still managed to make it fucking terrifying.
Yeah, I think I'm not sure if it's a new fear, but it's definitely something I haven't thought about a lot. But now that's a big new fear of mine.
Well, just don't ever stand in a sand silo or a silo of anything. Like, it's ridiculous.
I'll try to avoid that.
Try. And what was I going to say next? The way that Cristobal sinks underneath the sand, it's just black and you hear his screams, is just so was like, Barry, Bill Hader, you're a fucking psycho in this moment. I guess, like, the name of the episode, it takes a psycho. And when, Hank pulls him out, you feel this moment of relief.
Yeah, which ends up being very short-lived.
Until like, the scene with NoHo Hank, I think, ever, where Cristobal is just completely betrayed by Hank, and he's just... He thought they were on the same page, and Hank is just... He's gone back with his, the Chechens. I also want to mention, Michael Ironside,
yes,
coming through, in these fun little supporting roles in these, like, comedy action stuff. Like, he was in Nobody a couple years ago. Like, he's, I'm happy seeing Michael Ironside,
yeah, same.
pop up every now and then. But Hank is left by Cristobal after begging him to stay, and this was one of the most, like, rug pull and then put the rug back under me and then pull the rug out again scenes.
Yeah.
In the entire show, because it's just like, when, Cristobal was going outside and he's like, I want to, like, just let me get in my car and drive away. The entire time I was just like, somebody's going to be out there and just shoot him in the head. And then, Hank is just, he gives up and he walks back inside and closes the door. She's standing on the couch crying. Incredible acting by Anthony Carrigan. And then the door opens and a man walks in wearing something very similar to Cristobal, and I'm like, oh my god. Okay, maybe he did come back. And then they pull focus and it's a Chechen and they walk outside. I think this is all one shot.
Yeah.
I think it is, like, and they walk outside and Cristobal has been shot in the head, and I was just like, you motherfucker, you Bill Hader, you motherfucker, I can't believe you did that. Like, especially after going through the sand silo part, like, to do that all in, like, what's the runtime for episode 4? 34.
I think it's only like 30.
Yeah, 34 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the stuff that we haven't even talked about yet.
Yeah.
It's just incredible
to
television.
do it well.
Yeah.
Like...
Yeah. In this amount of time is unbelievable. And then we need to talk about Kusano. We didn't talk about episode 3, is it Variety or Vanity Fair?
Yeah. Well, right. Yeah, we can cover all that now. Essentially, Kusano's a little snake.
Yeah, well, he did the one-man show for the Vanity Fair writer in episode 2, and then episode 3, who does, this is gonna sound so Twitter, I'm so sorry. The actor, Cy Abelman actor. What's his fucking name? What's his name?
It's, oh my god, shit.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, if you're on Twitter, you just know him as Cy Abelman.
No, I know his actual name. It's just...
Yeah, me too. That's what I mean.
It's... What the fuck? Fred Melamed.
Yeah. He and... I was about to say Henry Winkler. Kusano, they break into the Vanity Fair's writer's house to steal back the notes that he took on Kusano's one-man show. And... at that point, I think the Vanity Fair writer had already been kidnapped by Mr. Moss. What's the Detective Moss's dad's first name?
I'm not sure. Does he have one?
Is it just Mr. Moss? No, I think it's got to be something.
No, I think it's like a old police like honor or something.
Okay, yeah, whatever it is. He's kidnapped he's kidnapped the Vanity Fair writer and just completely destroyed his brain. It's Jim Moss. That's what it is.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Who previously served in the U.S. Army in the field of psychological warfare. Okay, so he wasn't a cop, he was an interrogator, I guess. He's just made this guy learn how to speak German and not know how to speak English, and has completely rattled this guy, and Barry's escaped from prison, so Kusuno is completely terrified of Jim Moss and Barry coming to just take him out. So he goes to the cabin where Barry murdered Janice, and he's decided to, just hide out there, even though he knows Barry might come for him there. And in a completely just like harrowing scene, because you don't know where Barry is at this point, but like Gene Cousineau accidentally shoots his son, who's delivering food to him, thinking that it's Barry, and we don't know what happened to his son at this point, so it's very Gene is just like,
well, he's fucked.
Wherever he's going for the rest of the season, like, he's just completely
in jail or fugues.
Yeah, but he's like completely like losing his mind. I don't think like an accidental shooting lands you in prison in America. I would say that sounds terrifying. I know, but I think under the circumstances, he probably wouldn't go to prison in America, the richest third world country in the world. Anyway, I think we should get to Sally.
Yep. Just actually one last thing before we do.
Yeah.
Going back to the Vanity Fair journalist, can I just give my shout out to Patrick Fischler, who has to be one of the greatest hell yeah actors when he's in anything.
Yeah. Nice.
Yep.
Patrick,
obviously famous for David Lynch's most famous moment in but
it turns the corner. If you know,
but like,
you know.
He's so good in everything. And the part where he's speaking German is so funny and so dark, but like he just plays it beautifully. But yeah, it's on to Sally.
Yeah. So after abusing this acting student of hers, she had landed a role in, it seems like, just whatever parody of like a female-led Marvel movie. And she's Sally's on set with her to just be her acting coach and just, give her support.
And Sean Heder.
as I was just about to get there, where the movie's being directed by Sean Heder, who directed Coda, the unfortunate Best Picture winner of 2021 or 2022. I guess 2021. What do we think Bill Hader thinks of Coda?
I don't know, but it's funny and it works so well regardless. Like,
because
I feel like if you like Coda, it still works, but if you like dislike it, it works a lot. It's very funny.
Yeah, it's
and Sean Eder's really good at in it herself. Like her whole delivery of I was making this film that meant a lot to me, but now having a film where it's this floating circle thing, and it's like, and then like PA is like orb, and she's like orb. Like that's such a good way to like deliver such like indifference about just like franchise shit and MacGuffins.
Yeah, well, I've just been seeing a lot of mixed reactions to it because of the mixed thoughts on Coda that are out there. I'm not mixed at all. I think it's a terrible film. but regardless of all that, Sally as a character, calling it a masterpiece is very in character for her.
Yes, exactly.
So that's why I think it works. But
same.
I just do think that like it would have hit a little bit more for me if it wasn't a film that I thought was kind of very bad. Again, this is no like hate to Sian Heder herself.
He's actually very good in the episode.
no. Like, I'm not trying to like just shit on her because of this, but like, Coda is not a film that I would have ever watched unless it was the front runner for Best Picture. Oh, God. It's just giving me PTSD there.
I haven't even watched it, so
yeah. And then the her student, who is looks wise, like, you know, like what Hollywood goes for. She's tall, she's blonde, she's pretty, like she got cast because of all those things, and she forgets her lines, and Sally has to go chase after her and you know, coach her into being a better actor, because she's just not an actor. She's like a model who was cast. And Sally basically displays that how good of an actor she is to Sian Heder, and then I don't know if Sian Heder or her assistant who says, "Okay, now can we take what Sally's doing acting wise and make it come out of the other woman's face," is the moment where Sally's just like, "Fuck everything, fuck all this shit." Like, she's literally too good for where she's at that point.
God. Can I just say the great visual joke when she's delivering the monologue and then just then literally just steps to obscure the model in the frame?
Yeah.
Right.
It's really great stuff. But then, you know, she's basically she's offered a job and told that she can get roles that are, you know, in air quotes, suitable to her. And she's just like, she's so disenfranchised with Hollywood at that point. Rightfully so. WGA, do your thing. Yeah. And she arrives back home knowing Barry's escaped from prison, and there's a dark void in the other side of the house, and you just know Barry standing in there menacingly, and she calls out for Barry. He walks out, and she's just like, he's like ready to try to pour his heart out to her and convince her to run away with him from the law. And she's just like, "Let's go." And Bill Hader's just like, "Really?" And then
that's like very like early Barry stuff.
Yeah, and then it's just like, okay, and it cuts to black, and I thought that was the end of the episode. But then it cuts to the wide angle lens on this, I guess, like Nebraska, Montana, Kansas, whatever the fuck it is, field. And there's a little kid that I think we assumed is another flashback to Barry when he's a child, having a fight with another kid. The other kid's father comes along, tells the kid to go back home. He walks inside, gets a cold beer to nurse his wound, and walks away. And it turns out his parents are Sally and Barry.
Yeah.
I've seen a little mixed understanding of what's going on here. I'm of the opinion that the show is skipping forward, you know, like 10 years to just like there's nothing else going on in present day. Like it's all going to be like 2033 at this point. What do you think about that? Do you think
I think it could be either, honestly. Like, because like the whole, it is so dreamlike. The whole like sort of like wide angle, like desolate setting, and just like two houses just being there. Like you know, it feels a little dreamlike. So honestly, I'm excited for it either way. I think the more interesting route would be to just be like jump ahead, but I feel like there'll be some things in between.
Okay. I just want to point. Yeah, sorry, go on.
I also wouldn't be too surprised if it flashes forward and back, but also starts to make us question the reliability of the future.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
But I just want to point out that this is basically also what happened at the end of the 4th episode of the 4th and final season of Westworld.
Yeah.
Because I'm the only person in the world that's seen it. So I just want to point out, what's HBO doing with 4 seasons at this point? Like, they're all just doing the same thing, except for Succession. But I'm just talking about 2 shows.
For now.
Yeah. Actually, oh my god. Oh wow.
Yeah.
Now you just put a whole other can of worms in my head. Yeah, I was so just like floored by these 2 episodes, and where it's left off. I'm Bill Hader, apparently the same guy at this point. Do your thing, because this is like
I think TV's at its most exciting when you literally can't predict what's going to happen.
I would have never predicted that. At the beginning of episode 4, I would never have predicted this is where it's going to leave off.
Yeah, and it's like, that's the thing. It's just like, what does next episode even look like?
Yeah, we don't know. That's the thing. I guess there might be like a promo out there, but I don't watch that.
Yeah, I try to avoid. I'll watch like a trailer for like the full season before the season comes out, but I don't like to watch episode promos.
Yeah. Anyway, I think we should leave it off there, but Bill, Bill Hader, well done. Barry season 4 so far. I'm, very, 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 very impressed with what you do. Well done.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. And thanks for listening.
All right. Goodbye.
Bye.